Hello, welcome to the Film Vomit Podcast, an extension of the Vomit series of podcasts. As always, we're your hosts, Mac Taylor and Cole Selby, and today we're here to discuss Texas Chainsaw Massacre 4, The Next Generation, the movie that agents never wanted you to see for reasons.
Oh yeah.
We should have listened.
Not bad reasons either.
I was like, yeah, they had very good reasons why they didn't want people to see this movie. I wish people didn't see this movie.
Yes, indeed.
So Cole, tell me your thoughts going into this. Have you seen this one before?
This one, before now, I think I watched like snippets of it. Yeah, I think I got like snippets of it from when I would remember as a child. Mostly Matthew McConaughey, but
yeah, Matthew McConaughey goes like full on in this movie.
Oh yeah.
Like so. you can tell this is his first like major film role because like nobody said like, maybe you should pull it back a little bit.
Yeah, fucking it was like didn't he get this role like basically like right after Dazed and Confused?
I'm not
like,
I know that
after.
I think it was before
Dazed.
Or it was definitely before Dazed and Confused got released.
Yeah, because him and the same main actress, I think they were both in it.
Yeah, Renee Zellweger
too. Yeah, so I didn't. Yeah, I was just looking at the fucking the box, the art of the movie, and it like I already was. I don't think I was gonna like it. I mean, I didn't like it. I still didn't like it.
It's pretty garbage.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. It's a bad movie.
And like the crazy thing is, it's written and directed by someone who helped write the first movie.
Yeah,
and it's
which. And they kind of trash talk like the earlier films a little bit, and like I'm like you don't have any room, dude.
Yeah, it's like, dude, you made one of the worst not even just it is the worst Texas Chainsaw movie, but you made one of the worst movies in the history of movies.
Yeah, it's it has low ratings for a reason. Like even like the fucking like the uncut Blu-ray edition can't save it. Like, yeah, not even that.
Like, is it kind of fun to look back at like young Matthew McConaughey and be like, that happened? Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, is this a movie you're gonna want to watch more than one time in your life? No. And it takes a while to get through that first like initial viewing because it takes a while for McConaughey to come in. And before he comes in, there is just nothing in this movie.
Yeah.
I've never been a Renee Zellweger fan to begin with because her acting is so like terrible. But especially in this movie, it's bad. Like she's Renee Zellweger. Like she's an attractive woman. And they're always the whole movie. They're like, oh yeah, she's real ugly. Like, cause she's wearing glasses. It's fucking Renee Zellweger in glasses. Come on.
I know the characters are supposed to be like like caricatures or something of like teenagers and stuff. And I guess back then,
they do a bad job
if you wore
at being
glasses, you were ugly. But yeah, like though even bad at that, like it's just annoying.
and like what was Sean's character? Like, was he didn't hardly have any lines. What caricature was he? Like the guy with the beard girlfriend? Like what was this?
I don't think they were aiming for any specific traits.
He's just a guy in this movie.
Yeah, he's just a dude who body count.
And then there's the guy that they hit or hits them or whatever, and then he literally has one line. And then he just lays on the ground. What caricature was he?
Guy that gets hit with car.
Classic dude car crash. Like,
them teenagers getting hit by cars. Oh, them kids. The youths.
It's so bad. God. And then like the opening has like the narration that all the Texas Chainsaw Massacre movies have. But this one doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Like it talks about the first two movies being like incidents, but like no one was apprehended. But the third film said people were apprehended, and the second film said that nothing ever happened for them. It's like, what is this story?
And it's like that. I like, and like this movie is really trying to hammer home that these aren't supposed to be, isolated incidences. It's a part of a bigger picture.
They literally blame the Illuminati in this movie.
Yes, the whole, like, the Illuminati is like the whole, like, it's the entire reason.
And this is meant to be like a true sequel to the first movie. Not like, once in the first movie was the Illuminati mentioned. Robo legs.
No robo legs. Like, it made more sense when it was just a crazy group of people.
Yes.
Honestly, in the middle of buttfuck nowhere. Like, what other excuse do you have?
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah. What more do you need? You don't need the Illuminati.
No. Okay, in horror, you never need the Illuminati.
No.
Period.
No. Jeez.
Gosh. So yeah, we have our main set of teens who are Jenny, Sean, Heather, and Barry. And Barry is like the worst person in the world.
Yeah.
Like, he's caught cheating on his girlfriend, and he's like, listen, you won't have sex with me, and like, if you don't have sex, like, you could get cancer. And I'm like, who is this guy? Like,
that's something like in that, I believe, like in like, third grade, like, if you didn't like jack off or like have sex, you'd like lose your dick or something. Like, like, that's something I would believe in like third grade, not as a fucking like senior prom night.
Yeah, and it's like
are they seniors? Actually, they're supposed to be seniors, right? I think
they look like they're 45. Like,
yeah. So
this is like the classic like 90s kind of horror where you got like people in their 20s playing people in their teens, but they're clearly not teens. Like, there are people in their like 20s who can play young.
Yeah.
But like, Renee Zellweger does not look like a teenager in this movie.
No.
Whoever played Barry looks
really
like he's damn near 40.
Yeah.
Like, they don't look like teens. They just look like disgruntled young adults.
Yeah, I hate how teenagers are like just portrayed as literal adults in movies. They're kids. Some of them still look goofy.
And so they're driving around because like Jenny and Sean, for some reason, were in the back of Barry's car. It makes no sense really why they were there.
Yeah.
Just to get everybody together.
Yep. We don't need reason here.
True. So they crash and they're on a back road.
Yeah.
And we both lived on back roads.
Yeah.
There isn't just a random car just going full speed, not paying attention. Like, that doesn't happen most of the time.
Yeah.
And then they crash. The guy gets out and he's like, I'm not hurt. And then he just passes out. And I was like, what the fuck was that? Like, who is this guy?
He's fine, man. He just needs a nap.
So yeah, he passes out. Sean stays with the guy, and everybody else decides to walk a mile. They say they walk a mile, which
okay
to find this random building. I don't know what it's actually for. Like, she's in there, she has an office and a phone, but like, what the fuck is her job? Like, what is she supposed to be doing?
Her job is to just sit there and look like and have a phone and to have a desk.
Busy. Like, people just like she's like just kind of hanging out, like eating something, and then they walk in, she's like, oh yeah, business, paperwork, files.
Yeah, like she just jack shit all day. We all know it.
Because it's in the middle of nowhere. Like, what is this?
Yeah.
It's very stupid. So they meet Darla, who just basically flashes her tits for no reason.
You gotta fill that titty count,
Like, they're telling her about a car wreck, and she's like, oh, that's terrible. Here's my titties.
Yeah.
No fucking sense. Other than to be like, well, we're a horror film. We gotta at least have someone get nude.
Pretty sure that's the only reason.
So she calls them a tow truck. And then we meet Vilmer, played by Matthew McConaughey.
Finally.
Who shows up to Passed Out Kid, and he's like, he's dead. And the other guy's like, no, he's fine. And then he just fucking snaps his neck. He's like, well, he's dead now. And that's when you get like you start to see exactly how Matthew McConaughey is going to play this movie, which is just go for every scene. Just full energy. You know, maybe like, let's not do another take. We're just doing this one time, as energetic as possible. So he then proceeds to chase Sean with the truck, and Sean, for some reason, doesn't run into the woods with the trees where, you know, a truck would not be able to go. Instead, he runs down the road in a straight line. I'm like, maybe he wanted to die. Maybe Sean's like, you know what?
Yeah.
I don't want to be in this movie.
Yeah.
I hope it's gonna get hit, and I'm done. Yeah, who runs in a fucking straight line from a truck?
Like the movie is full of bad decisions.
Oh, full of them. I don't think anyone makes a single good decision.
No.
And then he runs Sean over to music, and he's like, "It's off to the races." I'm like, "What? I'm like, is this the script, or is this just McConaughey just doing his thing? I don't understand."
I think it's him just kind of, you know, going full energy, man.
So then they try to do like this. She's in the woods alone, dark. This like flashlight thing that they did in the first movie where they had that great jump scare with Leatherface.
Yeah.
But it's lit like a 90s horror movie. So like, even though it's supposed to be pitch black, it's lit like a motherfucker.
Yeah.
Like we can see everywhere. And there's just a little bit of a fog machine. I'm like, this isn't ambiance. Like, if anything is going to sneak up on her, I'm going to see it.
Yeah.
And then she gets hit by a random trash bag. I'm like, I've seen cat jump scares or like other people jump scares, but a trash bag?
Trash. It's symbolism for the movie.
Yeah, exactly. And then Barry and Heather they just wander to this random house, and they're like, we'll offer him $50 to give us a ride back to this place that'll give us a ride. And it's like, just walk back to the fucking car.
Yeah.
Doesn't make any sense why you need a ride for a mile.
Yeah.
You left Jenny to walk.
Yeah.
And Heather's the worst. She's like talking about like how Jenny's actually really hot and how she's a bitch, and it's like she's making like no sense. And then Barry's like, you pissed me off because you talk too much. And I'm like, what is this character?
Jesus.
Who wrote this shit? Who approved the script? Who looked at this and said, yes, I'll give you money to make this? So dumb. And then Barry finds the gun-carrying, war-quoting W.E. That's all he does is just quote, like, presidents and generals.
Yeah.
With no context. Just randomly. That's like all of his lines is just him quoting random people and saying who he's quoting.
Yeah.
Then we meet Leatherface, who just is unbearable in this movie. Screams the entire time. And can't even manage to keep Heather in a fucking cooler.
Yeah.
And like he busted the door, but like you could tell like that part of the door was clearly like this very thin, like plywood kind of thing that he just pushed out.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a lot. He's just chasing around the house, and she's doing a very bad job of escaping.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't really like this Leatherface, like really at all.
And then Barry locks himself in the house. He like locks himself in this house. He goes, "Ha, dumbass!" And I'm like, "What do you mean? You're the you are in the house of danger."
Yeah, you can't go anywhere now, dude.
And then he goes to take a piss, ignores the wall of skin, and is just taking his piss, and then turns around and is like, oh, hey, wait, that's a dead body in that bathtub. And I'm like, you should see that when you enter this small ass bathroom.
Felt like you would have smelt it before anything. I feel like the house, like, like there's so many ways you could have just noticed that. And for like a second, why would you feel so safe as to just go take a piss?
Yeah, exactly.
Like how do you feel that safe?
Heather was just screaming, and you're like, yeah, everything's fine. Let me go take a piss. I'll be back. Yeah. Then he gets sledged, and Leather screams some more, which is also fucking. And then he hooks Heather onto the hook because we have to keep making parallels to the first movie, although they make no sense in this movie.
Like, remember that one movie that was like super good, and you all like that?
Yeah,
it's this one too. You'll like this one too. It has the hook.
Do you remember when Leatherface put the girl on the hook and chainsawed a man's face? Well, in this one, watch Leatherface run around a house screaming and then randomly put Heather on a hook.
Yep.
Then Vilmer picks up Jenny and just immediately gets into McConaughey mode. Where he's like, heard about this hitchhiker that cut off a lady's arms, left her in a barrel for dead. No fucking imagination. And I'm like, why is that your opening line? Shouldn't you, like, even the hitchhiker in the first movie started out with a normal thing he said, and then he lead it into the crazy. He didn't just start crazy.
Yeah. Like even the third movie, like we have a Vigo's character.
Tex.
Yeah, like Tex. Yeah, fucking like he was all normal and nice first, and then he went
crazy.
Yeah, then he went crazy. This is just full off the wall go the whole time.
Yeah. And it's different when that character is like your side one. Like Chop Top was always crazy, but he was like underneath the cook. Vilmer is like the leader of this group, but he's always at a 10. So it's very weird. So Jenny jumps out of the truck and he chases her, but she actually runs into the trees, but only like 2 rows back. I'm like, you could just keep going into the way. You don't have to like sit there and wait.
Yeah, like it's like
well, how else will I know what he says?
Yeah, like what are you waiting for? Like you got your opportunity, leave.
And then she meets Leatherface in the woods because you gotta have a woods chase scene because first movie.
Yeah.
And so they saw through the door. Got to hit that beat from the first movie. And then she sees like a mannequin cop, and she takes its gun, like it's gonna work. Why would you keep a loaded gun on a mannequin?
Yeah, that's like that's the lack of survival instincts if I've ever like seen it.
Yeah,
honestly,
you didn't even check to see if it was loaded.
No.
You just take a random gun that you found on a mannequin. Yeah. And you're like, yep, this is how I'm gonna stand up to the chainsaw guy. It's
like you might as well just like grab a stick off the ground that's in the shape of a gun. It's like, yeah, this will work. Looks good.
Then she jumps out the window, also like Sally in the first movie.
Yep.
And then she runs to like Darla's whatever building that is.
Office of nothing, I guess.
But of course, Darla's part of it, and she gets beat with a cattle prod. Although, why wouldn't you just zap her with the cattle prod? That's the point of a cattle prod. You have a weapon.
Yeah.
Then Darla gets pizza, and like the cops don't notice a body in her trunk that's open.
Great.
Yep. Because it's implied that she's just seducing people left and right, and that's what keeps them from seeing the body in her trunk that is open.
It's like my tits can just, gather any gaze no matter what's around.
Make it all go away.
God.
Then Darla finds Heather in the road and just randomly like hits her with the cattle prod and doesn't pick her up. And then we get the brother door bit Where it's like, look what your brother did to the door. And it's like, ah, yes, remember that line in the first movie?
Oh, yes, I do remember, there being a good movie out there.
If you want callbacks to the first movie, just watch the first movie. It's so much better.
Yeah.
And this is when the FBI shit comes in, because he's like, you don't think the FBI knows about this place? You don't think there's transmitters in the walls? And I'm like, why would the FBI care? So then he just bites Heather for no fucking reason. And Darla's talking about Illuminati and about people run things. And again, it doesn't make any sense of why. If the Illuminati's trying to strike fear in people, they would just want some random people in Texas to scare tourists.
Yeah, like you get like that's.
It's a very small operation for such a big power source.
Indeed.
And this is what McConaughey does. Is like, I've got a mind. Slit your goddamn throat. And he's like doing nursery rhymes and shit. I'm like, again, like what the fuck is going on in this movie? And then Darla beats him with a shoe. He goes to choke her with his robo leg, which doesn't make sense of why he has a robo leg to begin with.
Yeah.
And then Jenny gets the gun and he's like, it's not loaded. And she's like waving it like it is loaded. So then she pulls the trigger, nothing happens, and then he does like a Tuscan Raider dance, that. I was like, what? Like McConaughey's like, you know what? I love Star Wars. I like them saying people things. I think I'm gonna do one of those.
I'm just gonna, this movie. I can't take this movie right now.
And then she like gets in a car to leave, and he like jumps off the roof onto the car and makes like this weird noise when he does it. Like he jumps from there, he's like, nah. I'm like, what the fuck is going on with this guy? And then she like tries to run him over, but he somehow holds on to the bottom of the car, like it's like somehow. And then the hood pops open and she just wrecks. Like she doesn't just lean her head out the window to see around the car. She just immediately hits a tree.
Yeah.
Then Leather comes out in the full woman garb. Because we've gone full Ed Gein here with the lady suit.
Yeah.
And Vilma and Darla almost like get it on the table for reasons. And then we have a dinner scene because you can't have Texas Chainsaw Massacre without a dinner scene.
Yep.
With some random corpses laying around the table. And I guess Grandpa's here. Because he gets up at one point with a knife and never shows back up in the rest of the movie. And I'm like, where did he go? What is he doing?
He just has to be there, man. Remember the first movie.
Because also they're eating pizza now. So I guess they don't.
Like, ain't that like vegetarian pizza too?
Yeah, it's like, so, but the whole point of that they're scary is because they're ex-slaughterhouse workers that eat human meat now.
Yeah.
That's gone. Now we just replaced it with screaming. McConaughey's screaming, Leatherface is screaming. And then Darla's like, there's a chip in the back of my head that they'll explode if I go against them. I said, is this the Suicide Squad now? Like, what the hell?
I think she like I don't know if like she's supposed to be like the quote unquote crazy one out of the group, but you can't really have a crazy one.
No, they're all
out of the group if you're all fucking lunatics.
I was like, yeah, they're like, all. No one has it together in this entire group. There's no. This is just a ploy
to like. This is just a ploy to one up McConaughey. It's like I got a chip in my brain. Yo, you do Tuscan Raider dance.
What? Did Vilmer just randomly light Heather on fire for no reason?
Yeah.
And then the Illuminati shows up in the movie.
Yep. He shows up in a nice, sweet limousine.
And he's like licking all over Jenny's face. And he's got these weird like nipples on his stomach.
He's got like, these weird nipples.
You can't make this up. Like this, it's that bizarre.
He's all I guess someone did shit. Yeah. Someone's like, what if he had nipples on his stomach? It's like, why?
And they were pierced and chained.
Gotta have them nipples. Dude.
And then McConaughey is just super sweaty all of a sudden. Like he is just like drenched in sweat. And he just starts cutting himself all over. And then he takes his robo leg and crushes Heather's head. Makes no sense why that happens. And then Jenny runs off again, goes to get in an RV, but that flips. So yeah, that was cut short very quick. And then a plane shows up, flies low, and kills Vilmer with the blades. And then the Illuminati take her to a hospital. Yes. And Leatherface does a chainsaw dance because you got to call back the first movie.
Yep.
And that's how this ends. A plane kills Matthew McConaughey.
Yep.
What a fucking movie!
It was a movie that cost
it's only
way
an hour
too
and
much
25 minutes.
Yeah,
but it felt like 4. Yeah, it's garbage.
It's bad, so bad.
And then familiar faces. Obviously, Matthew McConaughey would go on to have a huge career. Renee Zellweger, for some reason, had a very lengthy career. And the chick to play Darla, Tony Perensky, was in Varsity Blues as the teacher who does the strip dance in the middle of it. So good for her. Those tits would show up again. And they would get, as the movie quotes, a 10, a fucking 10 is what they would get at the strip club. And this movie has 0 death by chainsaw for a movie called Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yeah. Like what's like why even have a chainsaw now? Like I would like if I was them, I wouldn't even have tried to connect this to the Chainsaw Massacre series at all.
Yeah, it could have been its own thing.
Yeah, just take out the nostalgia bait bull crap and
then you only
just
have
make
like
it something
50
else.
minutes.
Yeah, but like at least it would be a different film that wouldn't be tainted by the memory of something greater.
And then Renee
even
Zellweger,
then still probably be bad.
In a recent interview, Renee Zellweger said that, she's happy she did this because it started her career and, she has no shame about it. It was just this crazy movie she was a part of, which, good for her for not, disowning it like Paul Rudd does with Halloween 6.
Yeah.
So yeah, for ratings wise, IMDb gives this a 3.3 out of 10. Metacritic gives it a 50%, and Rotten Tomatoes gives it a 16%.
Yeah.
So Cole, give me your final thoughts on Texas Chainsaw Massacre for the next generation.
No chainsaw kills. Horrible. No chainsaw kills. Horrible characters. I didn't like any of them. I liked Matthew McConaughey, but that's only because I know Matthew McConaughey and I kind of like watching him a bit. Like I feel like if it was
a random guy,
like it wouldn't have worked.
It's only good because it's Matthew McConaughey.
Yeah, the family just isn't as interesting really at all. It's not nearly as much as the other families that we've come across already. I mean, 1 and 2 are kind of the same, but the third one,
three had a really good dynamic.
Yeah, and they altered and changed the mold in a good way, while this one just kind of, I don't know if they're trying to one up the first one or whatever. I don't know what they were trying to do, but it didn't work. It didn't work for me. Rubbed me the wrong way. Big fail. And I don't even get the underlying, I don't like the Illuminati. Why is Illuminati in this movie? It doesn't need to be in this movie.
It really seems like you picked a bunch of random words and just threw them together, like Illuminati, pizza, robo leg.
Yeah. Nothing good. And I don't even understand why. I don't even get the whole point of this
nipples.
Movie. Stomach nipples, pierced stomach nipples. And I don't even get the point of this movie, at all. I felt like I've gained nothing watching it, and that's pretty bad.
It's garbage. It's one of my most shameful DVDs that I own.
It costs $4 to rent on YouTube, by the way. It's $4 I'm never gonna get back.
I think I bought it for $1 at a yard sale, and I still wish I hadn't spent that $1 at the yard sale.
Oh God.
So yeah, that's Texas Chainsaw Massacre 4. It's garbage. It's kind of funny because I feel like as we've watched so far, like I think chronologically where they fell is like how I would rank them so far. Like I think the first one's the best, and the second, then the third, then the fourth.
Yeah.
But there's a big gap between the third and fourth.
Yeah, and then after this one, I think we're going to get into different territory.
Yes, because our next film is going to be the remake from 2003.
Yep.
Which I've seen it a few times. I enjoy it. I'm actually looking forward to discussing it in detail.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I'm looking forward to having like a good slasher kind of feel.
Yeah, because we're going back to basics. No more Illuminati. Robo legs, stomach nipples, all of it. None of it's
dude. It's just dude with chainsaw, and he wants to kill people, and that's it. And that's good.
All right,
that's all you need.
So join us next time. We'll be discussing Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2003. Until next time, stay safe, stay nerd.